Welcome to Wrestler of the Week, Week 16. It pretty much works like this. If you are a professional wrestler and you made the most impact over the past 7 days, you will be named Wrestler of the Week. Every week, points will be tabulated, and whoever has the most points at the end of the calendar year will be named the male and female Wrestler of the Year. If you want to see what I use as criteria for Wrestler of the Week, be sure to check out my Week 1 episode. This was a mad week. We got Double or Nothing, we got King of the Ring, we got title changes, title defenses, new kings, new queens, heel turns, almost face turns. It's just been all over the place and it's just been an exciting week. So let's just go. First, the women and some honorable mentions. Fallon Henley and Jada Parker made the finals of the Women's North American title tournament on NXT. Allison Kay laid out Jordynne Grace after Grace successfully defended her TNA Knockouts title against Marty Bell, Kay's ally. Tessa Blanchard made a return to wrestling, defeating Zexius at CMLL's event last week. And now the top 10 wrestlers of the week for the women. Kicking off the list for the women this week is Deonna Purrazzo, who on the buy-in for Double or Nothing defeated Thunder Rosa with some heelish antics with her grabbing some ropes, and I am sure this win will help propel her back to another championship opportunity. She has already lost to Toni Storm though. Could Mercedes Moné be in her orbit? We shall see, but I am interested in a heel Deonna. It sucked that she was a babyface for such a short time, but I understand that sometimes promotions need to balance out their babyfaces and heels, and with Julia Hart currently being injured, AEW needed a new female heel. Deonna works for me. Let's see what's next for her, but the virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo lands on Wrestler of the Week at number 10. Chris Statlander from AEW appears at number 9 for the big heel turn she had against Willow Nightingale post her title match to rub salt in the wound after Willow lost the TBS title to Mercedes Moné. It has been a hot minute since Chris has felt like anything more than a background player for AEW, and that has disappointed me because Statlander is one of the female talents that can really go in AEW and should be showcased often more as an in-ring competitor, and hopefully this turn is going to lead into that. The question is this. Is Stat simply a detour or stepping stone for Willow before she moves on to bigger and better things? Or will this new program be used to elevate Statlander? We will see, but I am happy to see Chris Statlander do more than just be the supportive best friend for Willow, and now we wait for the explanation. What does Stat have to say for herself? We will see, but that heel turn brings Chris Statlander to the list at number 9. At number 8, we have Lyra Valkyria from Raw, who had a major week. First, defeating former WWE Women's Champ Io Sky in a semi-final upset on Monday Night Raw, then coming oh so close to defeating Nia Jax in the finals of the Queen of the Ring tournament before being murdered, death killed in the literal final 3 seconds of the match. But Lyra has proved this week that she belongs on the main roster as she is able to work a main roster WWE match with her female counterparts, and I believe with Becky Lynch losing the Women's World title and perhaps taking a sabbatical, Raw will need female baby faces, and I think Lyra will fit that bill nicely as she shows great babyface fire in the ring and can be very sympathetic. Follow-up is key, as I always say, but I believe Lyra Valkyria's future is extremely bright, and the work she put in this week has really helped to elevate her standing in WWE, and that gets her on the list this week at number 8. The former AEW TBS champ Willow Nightingale appears on the list at number 7, and that is because she really was the one that helped to elevate the feud with Mercedes Moné by sheer will, through her fire and promos leading up to the fateful match between her and Mercedes, and something strange happened. I believe this feud actually helped to elevate Willow herself. Willow carried a lot of the feud with her words, and she worked her ass off with Mercedes to make sure they had a great match, and I believe they accomplished that. Now that we got the heel turn from Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway, we have something for Willow to fight for. Revenge! Before inserting her back into a title program, and I hope Willow is given another championship opportunity in the near future. Over the past couple of months, Willow exemplified how invaluable she is to AEW as a talent, and I hope she doesn't fall through the cracks. She is too fucking talented. This week, the great Willow Nightingale, who had a hell of a week, even in defeat and losing her TBS title, still finds herself on the Wrestler of the Week list for the women at number 7. We have our WWE Women's Tag Champs Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill at number 6 for retaining their WWE Women's Tag titles against Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell in a good match, even if there was no doubt over the finish. Well, I don't think anyone saw the finish of that match coming with that DDT Cyclone Suplex combo straight out of a Capcom fighting game. What was that? Bianca and Jade are basically the women's version of the Road Warriors, coming in as champs, wrecking some shit, and leaving Carnage just behind them. This is a team that can really elevate those tag titles if they continue to destroy bitches and show off their evolution as a team, showcasing new moves and new ways to win. Honestly, I would just have them dominate the tag division until like Elimination Chamber, or losing the tag titles to another top tier team kicks off the feud between Jade and Bianca proper. But that's me being the fan Mark Booker. What I do know is that Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill obliterated their competition this weekend, retaining their tag titles, and that lands them at number 6 this week. We got TNA Knockouts champ Jordynne Grace at number 5 on the list for the women, as she successfully retained her TNA Knockouts title on this past week's TNA Impact against Marty Bell. Grace is well into over 100 days as champion, and I still can't think of anyone on the TNA roster that has any of the aura that Grace has, where it is realistic for them to perhaps wrestle the title from her. I know Ash by Elegance and Xia Brookside seem to be feuding, and that may lead to the winner of that eventually facing Grace, but honestly, I really don't give either of them a real snowball's chance in hell to win. Jordynne Grace is just too much of a commodity to TNA. Once she appeared in the 2024 Royal Rumble, her stock and presence just grew. And there really isn't another female talent in TNA right now that I believe is anywhere even close to Grace's level right now, even though TNA does have a very good knockouts division. It's just that the booking since Grace won the title has basically been, Grace is our girl, and everyone else is a distant second place. Nothing wrong with that. Sometimes a dominant champ, when they have that presence, works. And Jordynne Grace has that presence in spades. Until TNA is able to build a truly credible challenger for her, Jordynne Grace to me is the real forever champ. And her title defense last week lands her at number 5 on the list. AEW Women's World Champ Timeless Toni Storm lands at number 4 this week for successfully defending her AEW Women's title in a great match with Serena Deeb at Double or Nothing, with Deeb focusing on Storm's knee, interference from Luther and Mariah May, and it finally took a super pile driver and a Storm Zero to finally put Deeb down. The timeless one is just dominating now as a champ, and it's going to be great to see who might be the one to take her out. Who will step up? Willow Nightingale, a returning Britt Baker, Saraya, a returning Jamie Hayter. Storm has really hit her stride as champ, and as I've said in the past, I am sure she hasn't even reached her final form yet. But I am enjoying the ride that is timeless Toni Storm, and her run as AEW Women's Champ and her latest title defense lands her on this week's list at number 4. The 2024 Queen of the Ring, Nia Jax, lands on number 3 for the women this week. Nia won a hard-fought battle against Lyra Valkyria, who did everything in her power to take Nia out. But one of the damnedest-looking annihilators later that pretty much killed Lyra on the spot secured the pin and victory for Nia, and she has a championship opportunity at SummerSlam, and it definitely feels like Bayley's WWE Women's title is in jeopardy, as Nia is one of those talents who can be plugged into any championship program and be booked as unstoppable. And if the plan is for Nia to run roughshod over the women's division, I can see that. If the end game eventually is someone like Jade Cargill taking her out. But this is also an opportunity to tell a really great underdog story with Bayley having to defeat her toughest challenge yet. We will see, but this week, congratulations to the 2024 Queen of the Ring, not like most girls, Nia Jax, who is number 3 on the list for this week. Just missing out at the number 1 spot is the new TBS title holder, Mercedes Moné, who won a very good match against a game Willow Nightingale to win the title. This match saw hard offensive maneuvers from Willow and grappling from Moné to kick this match into a higher gear. Backfired interference from Stokely Hathaway and Chris Statlander caused enough of a distraction from Moné to hit a Moné Maker for the pin and victory. This was inevitable. The moment Moné arrived to AEW, she was going to be a champ sooner rather than later because of her star power. Don't get me wrong, I love me some Willow Nightingale. As I've mentioned earlier, I wish she had a longer reign, but it was clear Willow's role in this story was to pass the TBS title to Moné. Now comes the real test. What does Moné do with the title? What kind of champion will she be? Does she plan to be a fighting champ? Is Moné more interested in great stories or great matches? All these questions will be answered over the next couple of months. But for now, we have a new TBS Women's Champ, and it is the CEO Mercedes Moné, who lands at number 2 on the list for the women. And the female wrestler of the week is the architect of the Live Revenge Tour and the new WWE Women's World Champ, Liv Morgan, who at WWE King and Queen of the Ring, with some help from Dominic Mysterio, pinned Becky Lynch to win the Women's World title, and now the Liv Revenge Tour seems to be complete. Liv has taken Rhea Ripley out, she now has a title, and it seems like Mommy's Man is next. If anyone has been paying attention to Monday Night Raw, there have been some live Easter eggs that'll lead to Dom and Liv being closer than what is being presented. Are we going for a swerve where Dom and Liv are working together? A swerve where Dom is secretly lulling Liv into a false sense of security before Rhea returns? There are a lot of exciting directions WWE can take with this story, and Liv is a compelling character who is very good in the ring and has improved so much since she began her career 10 years ago. She has been champion in the past before, but defeating this iteration of Becky Lynch and this Liv Revenge Tour feels like Liv Morgan's coming out party. I am excited for #LiveEvil and her heel run as champ. Liv Morgan, the new WWE Women's World Champ, is the Week 16 Female Wrestler of the Week. And now to the men and some honorable mentions. The Bang Bang Gang retained their AEW Trios titles against Death Triangle at Double or Nothing. Awesome Truth and Axiom and Nathan Frazier retained their tag titles on Raw and NXT respectively. Also, welcome back Braun Strowman. Ricochet retained his Speed title against Tyler Bate. Michael Oku defended his Rev Pro Undisputed British Heavyweight title. Mike Santana retained the Hog Heavyweight title by defeating Matt Riddle. And Kid Lycos retained his Progress World title. And now the top 10 wrestlers of the week for the men. Kicking off the list for the men is the current FTW champ Chris Jericho, who was able to survive a triple threat match between him, former champ Hook, and Katsuyori Shibata to retain his title. The match was full of chops and suplexes, and finally it took interference from both Big Bill and a surprising Brian Keith to provide just enough of a distraction for Jericho to give Hook a Judas effect and pin Shibata. I am hoping, that the end game for this is Hook regaining his FTW title from Jericho, but for now it looks like Jericho is forming a Learning Tree faction to help him hold on to that title as a heel. Jericho has made a habit in AEW to attach himself to the younger AEW talent with varying degrees of success. Can Jericho's star power properly elevate Hook, Big Bill, and Brian Keith? We will see, but for now the current FTW champ Chris Jericho arrives on the list at number 10. We have a couple of WWE male stars who made a major impact in two of the title matches that took place at WWE King and Queen of the Ring. First, Otis from Alpha Academy made a major boo-boo when, after being bullied by Chad Gable, clotheslined his mentor during the triple threat match between Gable, champ Sami Zayn, and Bronson Reed. Zayn dodged out of the way as Gable held him up, and this directly led to the finish and Zayn defending his title. Also, Dominic Mysterio made his presence felt during the WWE Women's World title match between Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan when Dom made a major boo-boo of his own when he slid a chair into the ring for Becky to lose on Liv, but the whole plan backfired as Liv DDT'd Becky on the chair before hitting Oblivion for the pin and the title. Both Otis and Dominic will be facing some sort of major retribution for their actions. Gable stared a hole through Otis post-match while Dom looked like someone kicked his puppy. Both of these male superstars are on an upward trajectory, and the moment Otis turns face on Gable and when Rhea Ripley returns to get back the title she never lost, the roof will explode. Both Otis and Dominic Mysterio made a major impact this week, and that lands them on the list at number 9. Coming in at number 8 is IWGP champ Jon Moxley, who won an excellent match against Takeshita at Double or Nothing. Takeshita spent a good majority of the match targeting Moxley's shoulder as he injured it the night before. The match itself was a very good back and forth with hard-hitting forearms and other strikes from each trying to put the other down. It took a stomp to a chair and a Death Rider for Moxley to get the win. There was not much doubt as to who was winning this match, but it was a very good showcase of the IWGP champ, as Moxley just wants to live inside the ring as long as he is the top dog over at New Japan. Moxley isn't exactly setting the world on fire, but he is consistent, durable, and reliable, and that makes Moxley absolutely invaluable to both AEW and New Japan. Mox has Evil in his sights for New Japan Dominion, and that promises to be a very good match as long as Evil brings his working boots. Moxley isn't showing signs of slowing down, and I think this is the speed he wants. I've said it before. Mox is one of the unsung heroes of 2024, and as long as he puts on high caliber matches, he will be viewed as one of the best pro wrestlers of the year. But for now, we got IWGP champ Jon Moxley, whose victory at Double or Nothing lands him on the Wrestler of the Week list at number 8 for the men. The number 7 male wrestler of the week is Drew McIntyre, who officially got his wish and was named the number 1 contender to Damian Priest's World Heavyweight Championship, and they will meet at Clash at the Castle in Scotland. And man, if there's ever a time to pull the trigger on a new champ, Drew winning the World Heavyweight Championship in Glasgow just has to be the way to go. This program is going to be fire, with McIntyre and Priest trying to out-promo each other, which I admit Priest is sort of the underdog in that respect. And we also have the wrinkle of Judgment Day and CM Punk always lurking around. But Drew McIntyre is the number 1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. He is also considered the heavy favorite, and that lands him on the list this week at number 7 for Wrestler of the Week. Will Ospreay, the brand new AEW International Champion, appears on the list at number 6, and what a match he and Roderick Strong had at Double or Nothing. Ospreay had to fight off tons of interference from the Kingdom and all sorts of backbreakers from Strong, but eventually a running elbow followed up by a hidden blade got Ospreay the title, his first bit of gold in AEW, and I'm 100% certain this won't be Ospreay's last taste of gold in AEW, as he is one of the promotion's top tier talents. Roderick Strong wasn't a bad international champ, but I have a feeling Ospreay is going to do his damnedest to elevate the title with outstanding matches and programs. I can't wait, bro. Let's go. Also, I am now interested in the wrinkle that apparently Don Callis believes he is in sync with Ospreay, but they clearly are not, which makes me believe a full-on complete face turn is coming, with perhaps Ospreay being kicked out of the Don Callis family. But that is wild speculation to show my excitement for the new AEW International Champ, Will Ospreay, who is at number 6 this week. Coming in at number 5 is The Elite, who won an absolutely insane Anarchy in the Arena match by defeating Team AEW when Jack Perry, who was earlier set on fire, pinned Bryan Danielson for the victory. And yeah, almost immediately this match divided fans. Some loved the absolutely bonkers nature of the match, where it pretty much played out like a video game, with performers in this match continuing to participate after spots that would realistically take someone out or would be the finish. When Perry was set on fire, should that have been the end of the match? Or maybe someone on Team AEW should have been the one set on fire if they were going to lose. There are all sorts of fan theories on what direction the match could have gone, but all of that is irrelevant. What matters is that AEW has put their eggs in the Elite basket, and it feels like they are involved in the biggest angle in the company. So whoever ends up in their orbit will be part of that as well. So here's my question. Now that the Elite has won this major match and has shown their dominance, what is next? Are they going to set their sights on more gold? Is the TNT or even the AEW World title an option? Who knows, but the Elite walked away from Anarchy in the Arena with a major win that's propelled them to the top of the card, and that brings all of the Elite at number 5 on the list for this week. We have a tie at number 4 for our secondary title holders who successfully defended their titles this weekend. First, Sami Zayn was able to hold back both Chad Gable and Bronson Reed to defend his Intercontinental title in a very, very good triple threat match that saw Otis become a major factor. In AEW, Adam Copeland needed some help from Gangrel of all people, but he was able to stave off Malachi Black and the rest of House of Black to retain his TNT title. Both Zayn and Copeland have been great fighting champs so far. Zayn continues to prove his worth within WWE as one of their workhorses, while Copeland is determined to elevate the title with insane matches and feuds. I am interested in what is next for each. Time will tell. But for now, congrats to Sami Zayn and Adam Copeland, who both successfully defended their Intercontinental and TNT titles respectively. That lands them at number 4 for the week. We got the major surprise return of MJF at Double or Nothing, and that has him landing at number 3 on the list. At Double or Nothing, Adam Cole came out for an impromptu promo, but was interrupted by a neat little video package, and man, did the roof blow off when MJF finally appeared. MJF would take Cole out with a low blow and a brainbuster, and then follow that up with one of his best ever promos. And for MJF, who is already one of the best on the stick, that is saying something. MJF declared that he will no longer trust anyone, and even gave shade to his Double character and mask, saying that cowards hide behind masks. And on top of all of that, after revealing a new tattoo, MJF made it clear AEW is his home and he isn't fucking going anywhere. This was just an absolute fire segment, and now AEW has a major name that can talk, go in the ring, and pretty much excel in any role. MJF is the closest AEW will have to a CM Punk-like persona. Someone who is absolutely anti-authority and confident to the point of abrasive, but that is at the root of their characters. But MJF back in AEW, future matches with Swerve, Ospreay, and Copeland have me salivating something fierce. Let's fucking go. Welcome back MJF, who lands on the list at number 3. We have a tie at number 2, and that is for the 2 major men's title holders, the current and reigning undisputed WWE champ Cody Rhodes and the reigning AEW World Heavyweight champ Swerve Strickland, who both successfully defended their promotions' world titles respectively. First, at King and Queen of the Ring, Cody would retain the undisputed WWE title in a very good match against Logan Paul in the main event. Paul, of course, as a dastardly heel, broke his promise not to use brass knuckles during the match, and he did anyways, targeting Cody's ribs. Rhodes fought from beneath, going so far as to hit a goddamn invertebreaker before finally hitting 3 crossroads for the win. Meanwhile, Swerve Strickland would survive Christian Cage and the Patriarchy to defend his AEW title. I honestly did not believe either titles were really in jeopardy, but we got 2 great matches to show that Logan Paul is way too good at this wrestling thing for as short as he's been doing it, and Swerve as a champ is the real deal. Cody Rhodes continued to show why he is WWE's face of the company, participating in another great match. That's 3 in a row now between defeating Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, defending against AJ Styles, and now Logan Paul. If Cody continues to have great matches as champion, he may end up having one of WWE's all-time title runs based on the caliber of matches. And I would like to see if Swerve Strickland can keep up that pace as well. It was a great weekend for the 2 main promotions' main champions. Congratulations to undisputed WWE champ Cody Rhodes and AEW World Heavyweight champ Swerve Strickland, who lands at number 2. And the Week 16 Wrestler of the Week for the men is the Ring General. No, the King General. Whatever nickname you feel you must bestow, you must pay your respects to the 2024 King of the Ring, Gunther, who at King and Queen of the Ring defeated Randy Orton in a hell of a match to win the crown and now has a beeline to a championship match at SummerSlam. And if I was either Damian Priest or Drew McIntyre, I would be worried as fuck. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, that finish. Yes, Orton's shoulder was clearly up, but I appreciate that it seems like WWE is calling an audible and is leading into the referee's error, with Triple H and Corey Graves both referencing it. In a weird way, it sort of protected Randy Orton, and I could see this as a layer added to a mini feud between Orton and Gunther, which I am all here for if they ever meet up again in the future. But look, we all know Gunther is the truth, and it is only a matter of when Gunther will be coronated, not just as king, but as world champ. It's coming. Learn to love it and accept it. Gunther, the King General, and the 2024 King of the Ring is our Week 16 Men's Wrestler of the Week. And here are the weekly standings for the men and the women. Yeah, this week was absolutely bonkers. Like I said, just so much wrestling, so many title defenses, so many big matches, so many big angles. It just feels almost overwhelming. What did you think of my choices for Wrestler of the Week? Do you agree or disagree with my picks? Share your thoughts, leave your comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you can get notifications as well. Thanks a lot, everyone. Take care.